So shocking figures came out yesterday. Since 2005, there's been 2,100 pubs have closed across the country. 2,100. Just think about that for a second. And majority of them in rural Ireland and rural towns that only maybe had years ago, take for example in Cavan, some towns in Cavan used to have 4 or 5 pubs. Nowadays, in some towns in Cavan, there's none left. I think of 2 towns at the top of my head. They used to have 3, and now they have none. And then some of them have 1, and they used to have 5. So it's a dying business, and I suppose what I'm trying to say is too, like it or not, and obviously I never took a drink in my life. Imagine I never took a sip of alcohol. I'm 22 years on this earth, and I never drank once, and I'm very proud of that. But a lot of people are drinkers and go out on a Saturday night, as they should, because if they work hard, you're entitled to let your hair down on a Saturday night for a few pints or whatever. But obviously, you can't really go out when there's no pubs open if they're all closed. But it just goes to show you, because again, this is a part, as I say there a second ago, like it or not, it's part of Irish society, it's a part of Irish culture. Going to the local pub, take for example waffles and stuff, local events are on in the local pub. And of course, in many towns they don't exist anymore in a lot of rural Ireland. And not to mention too, the cost of insurance. We can go into all the details why. In some cases, I know from many pubs around Cavan that the people who had it, the family who had it, the person who owned the pub, the father or the mother, got too elderly, and then the young ones didn't want to take on the pub because there's no money in it. I could think of 2 pubs that the parents are elderly and they wanted to give up the pub and they were hoping their daughter or their son would take it on, but there's no money in it for them, so a lot of them wouldn't do it because there's just no money in it. There's no profit in it for them. Then obviously the cost of insurance too, in terms of looking at, because you obviously need to have insurance, and then obviously the TV license. It's more for pubs and restaurants than it is for houses, just to say the TV license. And then obviously too, the price of just getting drink in and stuff like that, because the price of a pint has gone up, but the publican is paying more than the consumer nearly at this stage. But it's kind of been split, I suppose, halfway, I suppose. But still, it's not profitable as it used to be. And then obviously taxes too are very high in terms of what they pay in tax, and then the money just goes down to gutter, to be totally honest with you. But it is a dying industry. That's a sad thing to see, particularly because again the numbers are staggering. A lot of Cavan, take for example, I think the statistic is 1 in 5 pubs have closed pretty much in the last few years in Cavan. Like there's very little than what there used to be in Cavan. Like you go through Cavan town, or the main town in Cavan, there used to be so many pubs open even just 10 years ago. Nowadays there's nearly none left at all. There's a few left, but not many. And probably by in the next 10 years there'll be probably maybe be lucky 5 at most. Because there's just simply no money in it, and of course there's no profit in it. And there's nobody really that wants to take on the mantle of looking after a pub nowadays. Because the money is in restaurants and it's in cafes, not so much in pubs anymore. But as I said earlier on, it is a part of our culture and it's a part of our heritage, and of course it's a part of the many communities across this country. And it's important that we keep it open, because again, think about the many people who have lost their jobs, who are working in the pubs, who have lost their jobs. 2,100. A lot of people probably had to go onto the dole because not through fault of their own. Say for example they work for the landlady, and sure, look, there's no profit in it. The woman closes the pub, and she had 2 or 3 staff employed to look after the pub, and to maintain it or whatever. They're out of a job, onto the dole. Well, to think about that too, because there's a human side of it too, where people lose income and lose their allowances and lose their livelihood in some cases. And again, the government do nothing. They don't support them, because we give all the money to Brussels and we give all the money to everybody else. But for Irish people, we don't do that, of course. We don't look after Irish people. We look after everybody else, but we don't look after Irish people. It makes sense. Make sense. But that's just the truth of reality and the truth. Anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe more, and bye.